Hey everyone, welcome back to Pretending with Dice. As always, I'm your host and game master, AJ. Before we get into today's episode, I want to announce a new addition to our merch store. Some of you may remember that in the last episode of the podcast, the mission badge for the Bermuda Cluster Expedition, which is the sort of overarching mission which our current crew's ship is assigned to, the badge was described in a meeting that one of the characters, Murphy, attended. Well, that badge is now available as a design in our store in real life. On t-shirts, hoodies, and by special request as a sticker. We've also added some stickers of both the podcast logo and our special 5th anniversary logo. So yeah, check it out. You can find the store at pretending-with-dice.creator-spring.com, which is a little complicated, or you can also find a direct link to it just from pretendingwithdice.com, which is it's probably the easy way to go. Secondly, I wanted to say a huge thanks to Cassie of the Lovely Craftians podcast for joining us once again for this episode, and the next episode actually. You can find Lovely Craftians on Twitter at Lovely Craftians. So yeah, check them out. Alright, well that's all I wanted to announce today, so without any further ado, let's get into this episode. Enjoy. It's been a couple of hours, Dr. Ireela, since you and Jonny met with Lady Ral of Trill, and she agreed to come and examine Rai in your sickbay back aboard the Tenzing. After sending Jonny off to update Murphy following this meeting, you were going to return to sickbay yourself. So, with that in mind, was there anything that you wanted to have been doing specifically while you were waiting for Lady Ral to arrive?
I don't think there's very much Ireela can actually do in the meantime. Other than just carry on with whatever other duties she has to occupy her time.
Okay, alright.
Like, I'll be alerted if something goes wrong with Cmdr Rai. And I can't imagine that sickbay is very busy at the moment.
It's not really, no. I mean...
Oh, hell, she might be sitting down just reading a book at this point.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of you're kind of on lunch break as well, I guess. Well, not lunch break, but, it's lunchtime.
Yeah. Medical staff have flexible hours. So...
Especially, as you say, I mean, the Tenzing's total crew is 750. So, I mean, that's not even a small town. That's like a village sort of thing. Yeah, exactly. I'm very unlikely to have a lot of patients. There's not been any other emergencies other than Rai, basically.
If there were any other appointments for today, I think I would probably try and get them shifted.
Sure.
It seems like it would be sensible to not have a massive audience.
Yeah.
If Lady Ral does turn up after this meeting, I imagine that if there's something she can do, she won't want much of an audience for it. No. Well, here's the thing then. So we can, if you like, say that Rai has been moved into one of the isolation rooms for his own privacy. Yep, that's a good idea. Yeah. They're not like, I mean, they're sort of multi-purpose, so they're kind of for privacy, but they also can be for if there's like a pathogen or, biohazard type thing. But yeah, there's private rooms. It's not just one big ward. The sick bay is, it's basically a small hospital. You've got basically 3/4 of a floor of the ship. Quite a big area. Yeah. So there's definitely, we can say that Rai's been in his own room. That would sidestep the audience problem, I suppose.
Okay, so it's you're waiting maybe a little longer than you would hope. I would say, would you say you're used to sort of Starfleet punctuality after these years in Starfleet when it comes to sort of meetings and sort of appointments and whatnot?
Yeah.
Lady Ral kind of seems to be keeping you waiting a little bit longer. She's on her own timetable.
Well, yeah, I kind of figure that I'm going to stay there and wait until she does turn up, assuming that it's not like in 2.5 days' time. I might sleep in the intervening period.
Yeah,
if it takes that long.
Well, I was more meaning that she'd said, "Oh, I'll be along after lunch."
Yeah, and it could be.
Yeah, to you that meant lunch could be 12 to 1, and maybe she'll be here shortly after.
Yeah, rather than like 5-6 o'clock.
Yeah, I'd say it's not quite as bad as that, but it is. She's a little longer at lunch probably than you would expect. Is the way I put it. It passes the point where you're like, well, I was hoping she'd be here by now, kind of thing. That's probably the best way of putting it. But she does appear without her butler this time. Are you waiting? Are you in your office, or are you waiting by Ray's in Ray's room, or what's the?
I'm probably waiting with Ray, actually.
Okay. So yeah, she's shown along to Ray's private room by one of your staff. Ah, hello again, Doctor. I trust you are still well.
I am well, thank you. How are you, Lady Ral?
Yes, very well, thank you. I had quite a stimulating discussion over lunch with the Admiral, and your Captain Collins also. Quite an interesting man, it seems.
Yes, indeed. He is an excellent captain to work with.
She steps to the side of Ray's bio bed. Now then, this is the patient we discussed?
Yes, this is Commander Sabin Ray.
You see her sort of leaning around and kind of, not inspecting's the wrong word, but yeah, kind of just sort of looking him over as he's lying on the bed. She's not got any kind of tricorder or anything, but sort of regarding him from different angles. I've never interacted with any of the Rays before. Tell me, Doctor, have you checked his isoboramine levels? I would say this would not be a thing you would regularly check.
That is not currently one of our protocols. I can get that checked.
Just a thought. You said he'd been having issues related to his memory?
Yes, almost like phantom limb pain from an amputation, except that it is mental it's a mental sensation rather than a physical one.
Yes. Better had run that check then. Isoboramine is a hormone which regulates the communication between symbiote and host. If it is out of balance, it may be the cause of your patient's problems, or at least a stepping stone on the way to the cause. So I think for this, as it's a test you don't regularly perform, I'm going to need a reason medicine check from you. Difficulty 1. It's basically a blood test, but it's, this isn't something you normally would check for, so we're doing a check.
Yeah.
Okay, a 15 and a 13, so easily 2 successes for you there. That's a point of momentum gained as well. I don't know if we've got the running total of...
We had one from last session.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
But
we'll call that 2 then, because I can't remember when the one was. You were meant to lose one at the end of a scene, sort of thing, really, but whatever. We'll just call that 2. So, as you're performing this, drawing bloods and things, Lady Ral continues talking. There have been instances, and, you'll forgive me for not going into details, where an abnormally low isoboramine level can cause conflicts within the joined mind, and may even cause the host to reject the symbiote. If that were the case, a new host would have to be found very quickly. So she's talking as you're taking Ray's bloods, and you're able to take the sample over to a small workstation in the corner of the private room. The computer takes a few seconds as you are going through as you place the sample into the scanner before returning a result for his isoboramine levels. You don't really know what you're looking for here. This is one of those things where the Trill keep the cards a little bit close to the vest when it comes to this kind of interaction between symbionts and hosts. So really all you're able to do is show the number to Lady Ral. whose eyes, I think you, again, this is the convenient thing, Ireela is an empath. You pick up her surprise when you show her the number. She sort of catches herself a little bit and says, "Well, that's not quite what I was expecting. His levels are more than double what would be expected in a healthy symbiote-host connection. I don't believe I've seen an isoboromine count this high before. It would imply much increased communication between symbiote and host."
Ireela's a little bit shaken by this, because been guessing that it would be a bit off, but not something as dramatic. Can Ireela think of a way to reduce this hormone's levels?
Not off the top of your head, no.
I can't immediately think of a way of reducing the isoboromine levels, or certainly not that might not affect other aspects. Is there a treatment that you know of, Lady Ral?
Well beyond Trill, and were I still Vienna Ral, of course, I would confer directly with my colleagues in the Commission before making any recommendations. We are not in such an ideal situation, however. I would perhaps advise a stabilizing agent, benzocyatazine. It is usually a treatment for those with reduced isoboromine levels, but with any luck it might even your patient out a little. This would not be a long-term solution, of course, but may help him reach an equilibrium in the meantime. I only make the recommendation, of course. You are his doctor.
Well, I'm certainly happy to try. There's the thing. Do I have access to that, or do I need to get it?
You, I think, would be able to replicate it, but it's going to be a multi-stage process, so I think we're going to need a couple of checks here.
Okay.
Not too hard, it's just because you know what you're looking for now, you're able to look up the information, but it's not part of your regular regimens and regular substances, so this might not be an instant thing. It might be, I think what I'll say, it's going to be, you're going to have to replicate some component solutions and then spend some time distilling them properly.
Okay.
So, say the replicating, I don't think I need you to roll for the replication. Because you can just tell the computer, I need this, this, and this, and it'll get them for you. But getting them into the correct ratios and such, I think we're going to need to do a medicine check. And I'll have to say that this will probably take 2 to 3 hours of your time to properly synthesize a solution.
It's fine.
I'm going to have this be difficulty 2.
Okay.
Your skills as a doctor, you're used to mixing up solutions, you're used to doing this and that, but this is a new one on you, so hence the difficulty 2 rather than the difficulty 1. So yeah, this will be a difficulty 2, and as I say, this is going to take Ireela probably most of the rest of the afternoon to do.
Okay. Well, I best get started on this.
Quite. Do keep me informed on his condition, Doctor. I would be interested to see how it turns out. It also may not go amiss to inform the Symbiosis Commission of the situation. I'm sure they would be intrigued to hear of an excess of isoboromine in a host. At the very least, though, if things were to take a turn, shall we say, with your patient, they would be the ones who would see to the continuation of the Rai symbiote into a new, properly vetted host.
Yes, of course. Would I be able to get in touch with the Commission?
Yeah, you'd be able to just essentially call them up. You don't need like an introduction or anything. Yeah, I mean the Trill are part of the Federation, but obviously when it comes to the symbionts and that, they sort of run. Well, they consider it an internal affair, basically.
Which is fair.
Yeah. Okay, so can I get that difficulty 2 reason medicine check then, just for the mixing of the solution? Ooh, okay. 1 failure and 1 catastrophic failure.
Yep.
Oh, you use momentum suggestion?
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's the thing. You got...
Well,
yeah.
There's the catastrophic one to deal with first.
Yes. So, okay, well, let's say then. So Lady Ral leaves you to your work. You begin to mix up the ingredients, and you're fairly sure that everything is in the right ratios and such. This is a process that you can't, you won't know until it's done, and then you will have to rescan your results, basically to check that things are done properly, and you probably don't want to inject them straight away into Rai before checking that.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but you spend most of the afternoon on this, and something must have been a little bit out when you when you started the process, because the computer indicates that it would not be safe to inject this into Rai.
As long as I didn't make like bromine gas and poison.
No. That doesn't happen, but if you inject this into Rai, you will most likely kill him and the symbiont.
Yeah, let's not do that then.
Thank you.
I imagine if anyone else comes in, the doctor's just going to be like standing swearing loudly.
So this is it's a solitary room. Are you taking this as an opportunity to let loose a little bit?
A little bit. But also, like, her friend is ill, and even the specialists don't know what's going on. It's a little bit concerning.
Yeah. So would you say you're shouting a little bit?
Probably not shouting.
Okay.
Not least from habit of not disturbing patients.
Okay.
So she's just kind of like swearing quietly, but with a lot of force under her breath. Because this should have worked. Why didn't... Oh. Right, I guess I need to restart then.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That 20 kind of sunk you from the beginning, you know.
That's fine.
Yeah. Rai. You reach up to your face, and with a gloved hand, wipe snow away from your visor. Ahead of you, visible, making their way over the next ridge, are your companions on this climb. You see the closest of them turn and shout something back to you, but their words are lost in the wind. No matter, you'll catch up soon. You take stock of the route that they've climbed ahead of you, which you must now traverse yourself. A tough route, to be sure, but no tougher than 10 others you've already conquered on this climb alone. You take one last look around before starting up the face. It's been a long day so far, but worth it for this view. Mountains stretching out around you in all directions, wisps of clouds snaking between them, an endless blue sky pierced by snow-capped peaks, seemingly unbothered by the blazing sun. You savour the moment, just briefly, before continuing. You arduously make your way up the nearly sheer face of rock and ice, the chill wind whipping at you throughout. You sneak a glance upwards. You're nearly to the ridgeline, and a well-earned rest. Smiling to yourself, you sink your ice axe into the face once more, testing your weight on it as you have 1,000 times already today. It seems secure, until it doesn't. A sickening crack of ice just as you go to pull yourself up, and the axe comes free. You are falling. Everything seems to be moving past you in slow motion, and you see your companions reaching out for you. Too far, too late. There is a split second of the most intense pain in the side of your neck, and then nothingness. Your eyes snap open. You're staring at the ceiling of an unknown room. You don't know where you are. You don't know how you got here. You don't know how you got off the mountain. Your last memory is of your companions reaching out to you, young Arvin's face just visible as a mask of terror as you plummeted away downwards down the mountain. You don't know how you could have survived the fall, but here you are.
I look around to see anything that resembles a clue as to where I might be in the room?
You're obviously lying on a bed. As your senses awaken, you become aware of a low background rumble, indicating you may be on a starship. The decoration, however, is unfamiliar to you as you glance around. Your first thought is Federation, but that doesn't seem right. The technology doesn't quite match your memories. There's no buttons, for one thing. What panels you see are flat glass faces with an unfamiliar interface. Facing away from you, however, you see what appears to be a Deltan.
Hello? Excuse me.
You're awake. How are you feeling? Sabin?
My name's Vishaya. Why do I sound like a man?
Are you Vishaya Rai?
Yes, Vishaya Rai. At least I should be. The Ray just looks down at his hands and thinks, but this isn't Vishaya's body, these aren't Vishaya's hands.
I'm not quite sure how this has happened. I met you as Commander Sabin Rai. Vishaya was one of your symbiont's previous hosts.
Previous?
I'm afraid so.
Ray, you feel a stabbing pain of a headache, like the worst migraine, suddenly comes on. The name Sabin rocking around inside your head.
Ooh.
Another name, Arvin, rocking around inside your head. You force your eyes open, and your friend Ireela, who you've been on missions with, is looking at you, and Sabin is awake. You remember drinking with Murphy, but you don't think you got that drunk. Not for a headache like this.
Doctor? This is one of the isolation. Okay, how drunk did I get last night?
Lieutenant Commander, it's something of a long story. How is your head feeling?
Like someone set a pack of Klingon targs on me. Did I get here on my own?
Murphy helped you. Although as far as I'm aware, it wasn't seen by too many people, so don't worry.
I'll be honest, Doctor, I'm struggling to remember what I shouldn't be worried about, to be honest.
Right now, nothing. I have consulted with a high-ranking joined Trill, and with her questions we've discovered that your isoboramine levels are almost double that of a healthy pairing.
Doubled? How's that even possible?
We've no idea what the cause is. And I also don't know of anything that will bring it down. So, between that and you waking up only knowing one of Ray's previous hosts, I think I'm going to have to get in touch with the Symbiosis Commission. Maybe they'll have some more information.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe. I suppose they would be the experts on this, but I'll be honest, I'm really, really struggling to remember what happened. I remember being in pain, and I remember falling, and then this. But everything else is just like a fading memory. There's bits, but none of them join up.
It almost appears as though, because the communication with your symbiont is so strong at the moment, it's kind of overwhelming the Sabin part. Now, that doesn't mean that it won't settle and go back to normal, but it does mean that I need to get in touch with the Commission. Probably right now. I could also try and speak to Lady Ral again, see if she's got any ideas in the meantime.
Lady Ral? She's the one you were talking to?
Yes, Lady Lt Ral. One of her previous hosts was on the Symbiosis Commission. And she was the most immediate advisor that we could find.
Of course she was.
Ray, you remember Lady Ral as an old woman. The oldest member of the selection board of the Symbiosis Commission, in fact. She took a dislike to you. To Vishaya, I should say. And you didn't like her either. Stuck in her ways, she didn't like your attitude, and didn't deem you a worthy candidate to receive a symbiote. Had she not passed away and been replaced on the board, it's likely you would never have been joined with the Ray symbiote.
I apologise, Doctor. I probably should explain. Ral has a bit of a bearing on Ray's history as far as hosts are concerned. Ray's first host, Vishaya, young girl, Ral did not think she would be a suitable host, and I think Ray feels some bitterness there. Can't really explain why. Because at that point, it was a symbiont taking a host for the first time, and for whatever reason, I suppose transference, but whatever Vishaya felt towards Ral, Sabin also ended up feeling. If Ral had got her way, Ray and Vishaya may never have joined. And subsequently, Sabin would not be here, and neither would the one between the two. Sorry, I'm struggling to remember. I'm sure there was someone else. There was Vishaya, Sabin. Why can't I remember? What the hell is going on? Vishaya, Sabin. Who was the other one? Who else was there? Come on, brain. Who else? Gah.
So, Jonny, Murphy reminds you it's your day off as you deliver her the news that you hopefully have organised some help for Ray, and you are left with the rest of your day to do with as you will.
I keep finding myself in this circumstance.
Yeah, you're almost trying to fight. You keep trying to be working, and people are like, take a day off. Fine,
You're not on duty. You're not on the roster for today. Go and enjoy life.
Oh, damn it.
The ship is docked. The ship is... you have no duties right now.
Jonny is not discounting the fact that Ray is in hospital, but is kind of like his perspective on Ray. He's not necessarily a friend yet. He's a commanding officer, so there's a certain amount of like, well, I've done my duty.
You've helped, yeah.
Starfleet's going to handle this, so...
Yeah, you went with Ireela and you talked to the Trill, and it's kind of out of your hands. He's not even your direct boss,
Yeah, there's possibly even a sense of relief in not having to deal with what he probably considers to be aristocracy.
Oh, with the Trill thing, yeah.
Seeing Lady Ireela not having to have tea, potentially. It's a good thing.
I'm sat right here, guys.
okay.
There is a space station to explore.
Well, yeah, exactly. So on that basis then, Jonny, after breaking off from Murphy and being told to enjoy his day off, has gone back to his quarters, gotten changed. Is Bonge around?
Bonge is asleep.
He's just okay. How late in the day is it? Is he sleeping in late at this point? Like,
yeah, I mean it's kind of late morning.
Okay.
I mean we've gone back a couple of hours from where we just were with Ray and Ireela, just to confuse matters, but it's probably coming up to 11.
Cool. Right. So, in a friendly way, Jonny gives him a nudge on the shoulder. Hey, buddy, how's it going? How are you feeling?
Well, better than I was earlier.
Well, it's the day's ticking on. It's time to get out of bed. Come on. We've got a space station to explore. You've got the day off, right?
It's my day off. Yeah, I mean, you're waking me up on my day off.
Time's a wasting. What can I tell you? We can find some kind of cure. Maybe even the hair of the dog. We'll see how the day goes.
Fine. Give me a minute.
Good stuff.
He hasn't got a lot of outfits, I think we previously established. So he's kind of got, I think we said we had his Hawaiian shirt outfit. He's got a kind of general Ferengi sort of get-up, which he pulls on. It's not quite as up together as some of the waiters in Quarks or whatever that we see on Deep Space Nine, but it's his off-duty clothes that aren't quite full-on party engineer Hawaiian shirt.
Okay.
He pulls that on and says, okay, all right. Where are we going?
Well, I just wanted to kind of explore the station. Why not see the sights?
Okay.
We can ask the computer to say, are there any tourist traps around here? Do you know anything?
Oh, I don't know anything. I haven't been here before either.
But yeah, at the very least, we can just have a little walk and you can, I don't know, work off that hangover.
Okay, lead the way. Let's go.
Okay. Well, before we go, let's try the computer. Computer, what kind of tourist attractions are on this space station?
Deep Space 3 is home to a variety of civilian-owned bars, restaurants, retail stores, houses of worship, exhibition spaces, and other attractions, as well as a Starfleet-administered conference and function center, biosphere, arboretum, and holographic training facilities.
Ooh, Jonny perks up, hearing mention of that. Hey, what do you think, Bonge?
I don't think I can take on that Gorn, if that's what you're asking.
Well, you could watch at the very least.
Oh, that sounds...
Grab some popcorn. Could be entertaining.
I mean, maybe, but... Yeah.
You see hesitance then. Johnny's like, well, I'm sure it's not just, like, physical stuff. We could probably do some shooting. There might be some interesting tests, some, like, puzzles, team-building stuff. Who knows?
I do like puzzles.
Yeah, it's a Starfleet. Come on, man. You know what it's all about.
All right. We'll go to the hologram center if that'll make you happy.
Ooh.
Can we, like, swing by the civilian docks, the promenade area first, though? Every time I get a hangover this bad, I have, like, a craving for this, well, you wouldn't like it. It's a Ferengi drink. Sluggo Cola.
Oh, yeah, sure. Why not? Let's go. Whatever makes you feel good, man.
It takes the edge off a little bit.
Jonny kind of makes motions and they get out of the room and on the...
Maybe you will like it.
Well, we'll see. I'll give it a smell first.
So you're heading off of the ship via the civilian docks, I guess, which is... You've seen part of that, I think, last night, but I mean, it was sort of the night shift, so it's a little bit of a different energy in that. I mean, you got yourself hangover food on the way back from the bar in that area, so it's not, you've gotten a bit of a look at it, but it's a sort of quite it's kind of like a much bigger version of the Deep Space Nine promenade, if that makes sense.
Yep. With
a civilian docking ring around it and everything, which is sort of quite bustling a lot of the time. Deep Space 3 is much bigger than Deep Space 9. This is a Federation built station specifically with a larger Starfleet section above, and then this sort of lower civilian section. Mm-hmm. You pass the bar Shimoda's on your way through, and Bonge looks at you and goes, it was good, but I can't drink again right now.
Oh, don't worry. I'm not planning anything along those lines yet. But like I said, maybe later. And he gives him a wink.
Yeah.
And a smile. And it's kind of a cheeky one where it's like it's teasing at the fact that, like, hey, I know you're feeling rough.
Yeah. So you're kind of meandering through this area. There's stalls and there's plenty of people kind of plying goods and wares and things, and as well as a lot of sort of smaller there's bars and there's cafeterias and sort of emporiums. There's stuff to be bought here if you want it. But just kind of walking along, and Bonge sticks out a hand and goes, "There it is." You look and you can see a vending machine on the corner of like a fairly dingy looking, almost like an alleyway, except you're on a space station, so between two units sort of thing, and it is a sort of lime mint green coloured vending machine with a big slogan on it that says, "Drink Sluggo Cola, the slimiest cola in the galaxy."
Bonnie winces a little bit and looks at Bonge. Well, let's see this stuff then. I'm curious. I'll give you that.
It's okay. You can owe me the latinum.
Well, just get one for yourself for now. Let me have a little sniff, and I'll let you know.
So he pulls out. What's the smallest one? It's not slips, is it? Because strips of latinum, slips of latinum, and bars is the big one. He pulls out a couple of small slips of latinum, puts it into the machine. Which very quickly pulls it in, and a bottle of green liquid drops out of the machine. It doesn't look that nice, I will say.
Are there bits in it?
It's a little bit chunky, but not that. It looks like unshaken up Orangina, if that makes sense.
Kind of.
You know how it kind of settles?
It's green.
Yeah, it sort of looks like that. And he pops the top, and it's got a bit of a smell of algae, I will say. It smells like a pond.
Jonny kind of like weakly smiles, sniffing this, and passes it to Bonge. I think this isn't really my species kind of thing.
You can give it a go. I tried those hot dogs you told me about.
Oh, no. I assure you that smells like something, I don't know, that wildlife would live in, to me. And, well, I never asked you to eat kitty litter or anything strange like that. Just, like, I gave you foodstuffs, proteins.
You sure? This is just good stuff. Keep your teeth green. He sips it.
Are his teeth coated in green?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But he does look noticeably. He sort of drinks it and he's like, it's a smart though. He's sort of perking up a little bit.
Oh, well, I'm glad to see you looking a little bit more healthy there. Those ears are perking up nicely. Let's go on our way.
I might need to stock up on this stuff. We don't know. I just realised there's not going to be any of this available in the Bermuda cluster, though, is there?
You can't replicate this?
Well, it's a proprietary recipe, There's pretty hefty penalties violating a copyright of a Ferengi corporation.
Fair enough. I don't know those kinds of laws. I'll take your word. Well, let's check out this training center.
Okay. I'm gonna have to come back here later, though.
Yeah, sure. Just keep it to yourself.
Okay. So, yeah, you step onto an elevator and head up into the Starfleet section to a. It's a bit of a bigger facility. It takes up a whole 2 floors of the upper part of the station. A bit of a bigger facility than the holodecks on the Tenzing. Tenzing itself has quite a few holodecks of varying sizes, but this is basically like a big complex of nothing but holodecks. Mm-hmm. Meant for the high capacity of, like, there could be at any one time multiple, and there is at the moment, multiple Starfleet ships docked. Things might need to be done on a larger scale than they themselves can do, just handle on that, and just being able to handle a large amount of people possibly wanting to use a holodeck where time might be limited for, how much they can do on their own ships. But yeah. What is it you're looking to do?
I've just had an idea. As they're going along, Jonny is thinking about, okay, we're going to this training academy. Like, this is an opportunity for some team building, maybe, or maybe a little bit of competitive team building. Let's see how that goes. And on that angle, the other ships are still docked. Like, we're not the only people, the only Starfleet ships.
Yeah, the Nelson and the Auckland are still docked.
Jonny kind of turns to Bonge and goes, hang on for a second. And he hits his comm badge, and he goes, Connaught to Sullivan.
Okay, there's a brief pause, and you hear,
what do you want?
Hey, how's it going? How you feeling?
Great. I'm feeling just great, Jonny.
Oh, well, glad to hear it. Me and Bonge, we were just heading out to the training facility that's on the space station here. And I was thinking maybe you'd like to come down for a little bit of a friendly competition.
It is 11 o'clock in the morning on my day off.
It certainly is.
You know I didn't get back to my bunk until 2 a.m., right?
I never knew you to be a lazy one.
I'm not lazy. I'm violently hungover. What's wrong with you? Fine. I'll be there soon.
Right. See you soon. Got it out.
She doesn't sound well.
Jonny smiles to Bonge and he goes, this should be interesting.
What have you got in mind? A bit of revenge for all the drinking games and such? Well, if I remember right, you won those, so...
Well, I don't know. I think it would be fair to say that we kind of conceded to each other, but, well, why not see who comes out on top today? We're all kind of working with the same handicap, although some of us are handling it a little bit better than others, and he kind of stretches out and smiles again.
No need to be smug about it. I saw you coming out of sick bay. You've been down there injecting yourself with, I don't know, some kind of hangover suppressant, I bet.
Nah. Certainly not. I wouldn't do such a thing. I'm just made of sterner stuff. The training, I tell you.
So you actually you're waiting there for probably about 20 minutes for Sullivan finally gets off an elevator, and she's holding a big bottle of water, and it's just she doesn't look happy with you. She's like,
"Why is this still your idea of fun?"
I thought this was your idea of fun.
Yeah, when my head's not caving in and I'm trying not to throw up everywhere.
Come on, take a swig of that water. Let's get going. Come on.
Fine. We're getting food after, though. Fucking dying over here.
Well, what can I tell you? And he smiles again to Bonge. Some of us are made of sterner stuff. And he smiles again, just massively sarcastic towards Sullivan.
Whatever, man. Let's get this over with.
So you head to you're able to. I mean, there's enough holodecks here. You can basically get one without any. There's no lines. It's quite busy in the training center. You get the idea that holographic training center is basically just what it's been called, like the staff, Deep Space 3 holographic training center. But it's just a bunch of holodecks. Really, it's not necessarily like, oh, we've got to get on the program here. They have, of course, all kinds of specific Starfleet training simulations and things like that. And, this is a place where examinations take place for potential Starfleet Academy candidates from the area, and extra examinations for moving up in command ranks and things like that. This is a bit of a hub for anything that might require a holodeck. But you can use them for whatever you want, really. So, I guess what I'm asking is, what kind of program are you looking for here?
Given they're not going to be specialised towards particular things, can we just find the holodeck, go in, and then kind of decide from there? That's
exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying you can do whatever you want. What do you want? Is what I'm.
Right. So we'll go into a holodeck then, and Jonny turns to the others and says, "Shall we start with some light shooting?"
Fine. Guess you need me to beat your marksmanship record again, huh?
We'll see about that.
So, are you loading? What are you loading? Tell me.
The program that Jonny had used previously, shooting practice, That's what we're going to bring up.
So you're trying to hustle them with something you were doing like 2 days ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jonny is being pretty cheap right now, just to like. This is like an old relationship with Sullivan, and they have ribbed each other for years, and this is just another instance of one or the other of them doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah. She puts her water bottle on the ground and says,
"Computer, type 3 phaser, please."
A phaser rifle appears in her hands.
Type 3 phaser, and Jonny does likewise.
Bonge goes, "Computer, popcorn."
Oh, you're not feeling it, Bonge?
No, I've never been a good shot.
That's fair enough. You enjoy.
Yeah. Computer, armchair. A reclining chair appears, and Bonge sits in it with his popcorn and his slug of cola, waiting expectantly. So, a series of targets begin to appear. And let's run some checks then. I'm not going to do what we did last time, which was just make you roll one check to see how you do overall. We're going to do this. Yeah. This is going to be like opposed checks and stuff, I think. So we'll start with Jonny then. So first, the targets appears. It's at a medium distance away from you. It's just, I mean, are you picking specific targets? I can't remember what we said about that, or is it just kind of moving circles?
let's say that it's just like a bunch of targets, and they're just competing to see who hits the most as quick as possible.
All right. Okay. Okay. Can I get a control security difficulty 2 from you?
Ooh. Oh,
well, you got a 1 there, so that's that counts as 2 successes. So you hit your first target. I'm going to do a 1 for Sullivan. So she misses. Hers goes wide.
Damn it.
Take your next shot.
Okay.
I got an 18 and a 12, by the way, people. Okay, so your second one, you're maybe feeling a little bit cocky, I would say, after hitting your first one straight off and seeing her miss, that you basically do exactly the same thing she did. It just miss. You kind of aim your second shot with, you got 14 and a 10 there, aiming for 13 and under, just for audience sake. You just kind of, you aim and you kind of misjudge the timing a little bit, so you're not fully off, but you don't score a hit with your second one.
Okay.
I don't know how many of these you want to do.
We'll see if it's a draw based on the next one.
Okay, well, Sullivan, again, I rolled an 18 and a 9, so I need 2 successes, and I got 1 success there, so she is 0 for 2 on her shot so far.
Okay, one more.
Ooh, catastrophic failure on your part, 20 and a 2. So here's what happens then. You're feeling okay. You've missed a shot or 2, but you've hit more than Sullivan so far. So you get this thought in your head, maybe it's time to do something a little flashy. You track a moving target, with your phaser rifle. And at the last second, as you go to fire, you just take your eyes off it, just for a second, to give a bit of a sly look to Sullivan. Kind of a watch this sort of look. You squeeze the trigger, but something has gone terribly wrong. Bonge lets out a surprised "Urgh!" and there is a spray of bright liquid as your phaser beam connects. Okay, that's going to do it for today's episode. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time on Thursday, July 28th, and we hope you'll join us for that. In the meantime, you can find links to all of our online presences at pretendingwithdice.com. So yeah, for now, that's our show. We hope you all enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.